Hey, Femme, it's your girls, Tessa and Carolina.
Hi.
I always like to every now and then throughout the seasons welcome any new listeners. If you don't know who we are yet, we are Femme Regard. We are a 2-woman run production company, and we started this podcast because we just really wanted to share our experiences, our stories, of course, build our audience, but really like give something back as well, and we have learned so much from all the guests that we bring on, and we hope you guys have as well, because it's just been not only educational, but super inspiring. And today's guest, I loved where the conversation went. It wasn't just here's my story and my journey. Like, it was all about like how you have to have a certain mindset to be able to survive in this industry. And it's such a great episode. You guys will see it's very inspiring. And said guest is Raquel Gardner, who we met through Kat Guerin, who was on our last season. If you remember, she talked about Elisa's Almost 30, and Raquel actually directed that. So that was an awesome connection. That's another thing that this podcast has really given us, is just amazing connections. But Raquel does everything. She's an actor. She's been an actor for years. She's also an acting teacher and coach, now director as well. I mean, she does it all. She is just a wealth of knowledge. And she also runs the Actors Mark. If you guys haven't heard of this class and this community, she really, again, preaches mindset and approaches acting classes in a different way. And she's going to tell you guys about the course that she's working on near the end of this episode. And it sounds amazing, especially for brand new actors or actors new to LA. Like, you're going to learn like everything you need to know.
Yeah, we can tell she's really thought it through, like all the little details on, so you don't feel like, okay, I've invested myself in this course and I can't do XYZ for XYZ reasons, whether it's money, whatever, or I'm not there yet in my career. Like, she's really thought it through to give you guys like an array of steps that you can take to get to your end goal.
Yeah.
And I think she just overall such a lovely, authentic human that we could just like, our conversation just flows. You'll hear, we could literally talk all day with her about the industry, our journeys. We get very personal and how, and real, and honest, which is what we always strive to be on the show, is just share literally our day-to-day lives, where we're at. Like, Tessa and I are some hustling gals over here at the Femme Regard team. It's just us. We do it all. And, there is a balance that we are always working hard at. It's not something that we master in one day, year. We've started in 2018 officially, and I'm so proud of us, babes.
Me too.
We're ready to do our first feature, and we're just so excited. So I hope you guys learn a little bit more about us. I think you do learn a little bit more about us in this episode as well. So without further ado, Miss Raquel.
I had to do my first pitch deck I did. It's really funny. I learned a lot about pitch decks with these projects that I have, a shopping agreement now with this company. I was like, oh, I have a pitch deck. Me and my girlfriend, one day I created it on Canva, and I was like, oh yeah, I have a really great pitch deck. And they were like, oh, okay, that's all right. It's like, I just went and like put stuff in. And he's like, listen, we really love the idea for your show. We think it's amazing. We have to redo the deck. And I was like, okay, what are you looking for? And she's like, I want sexy, I want provocative, I want this, I want that. So I just for 6 days straight, I was locked in. I learned how to be a graphic designer. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was layering things.
Girl, I'm a Canva queen by now.
It was night and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
But it's empowering that you don't have to hire some other company. A lot of people do for those kinds of decks. And now that skill goes for all your social media promos. I love Canva so much. I can do it so quick, for all of our podcasting. Now these decks.
I've been using Canva for 4 years, 5 years, just for little stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's such a great app. It's just a great platform for people to play around with. And now, did you know that you can actually like build your courses in the app, because they have a place where you can create a slide and then film yourself in like the little circle.
Oh,
so
that's
that it goes
Oh,
slides.
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay.
yeah.
So there's like all kinds of new stuff that, I mean, I can't keep up. Can you guys keep up? There's so much new stuff coming out on these platforms.
Carolina does it all for us because I can't.
I don't have a huge capacity to do all that too. It's like, it's a struggle for me, like especially with social media. Sometimes I'm on it and I can just come up with the content and put it together. And other days I stare at my phone. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what to put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to put it down. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
For me, I get frustrated because I'm like, it's distracting me from revising my script again and like looking those details over that I think truly matter. But then like my boyfriend and I talk about it like almost every day. The TikTok, he's just like, but who's going to watch it? Who's going to, I'm like, you're right. I know, like we need the audience. That's otherwise then
really
yes,
do
all my
need
work.
the audience.
You do.
Strategizing though, to be like, I was talking to this guy, I play golf. And I was playing golf on Sunday with my friends, and we were paired up with these two guys. And this one guy, this is what he does. He helps social media pages that have 1 million plus followers monetize their pages. And I said to him, if you could give me just one tip, like I'm not going to pick your brain right now. You're playing golf. I know you don't want to hear this, but just give me one tip, just one tip. Yeah. And it's basically what we know already. But he said, you got to find the one niche. You got to focus on the one thing. And even within your business, even if it's broad, what's the one thing that people keep asking you, or people like go through and like, what do people like on your page? And then go through other pages that are doing this similar thing you are, and see what the successful ones are, you know, what are they promoting, what's getting likes. He goes, and then you're not copying them, but you're just bringing in your own version of it, and you just keep hammering that. And it'll actually build the audience that you need for what you need.
Yeah.
That's great advice. My boyfriend does that for he's a music producer, and with like TikToks, that's exactly what he does. He goes on other, like sees which TikToks are doing really well and then makes the same kind of content, but with his brand and his music and sound, and like it does work. Like he's a very good following on that. And I'm like the content creator that I can't make viral TikTok. And I'm like,
listen, I have 53 followers on TikTok. I'm not really doing very well on that.
But I think that's like part of it too, is like finding the platform that works for you too, because it's like, yeah, TikTok is the new hot thing, but that doesn't mean it has to be your thing, you know?
It's not. Yeah, I agree. But then he's like, his point is, well, it's the only place that you don't have to fight an algorithm for. Like the virality just comes so organically. Because I am noticing on Instagram, I'm like, I'm getting no attention like as much as I used to. And I think there's just more, there's some shit going on there. I need to assess that.
Have you guys seen The Social Dilemma and all that?
Well, that's who we want to contact for our film. We want to contact Tristan Harris and his organization to back the message of our film, because it's insane. It's all about, you know, being super addictive, the psychology behind that. And every app is actually outperforming. They're against each other. Which one can we be more addictive to? Even like Netflix, Hulu with the countdowns. You notice they're all doing that. It just keep it going, keep you on there, which...
I mean, that was such a fascinating documentary, and so was the Great Hack, or The Big Hack, or was the other one?
Yeah, I think
that was all about Facebook during the whole Trump campaign with that woman. That was, I mean, those two like opened up my eyes to what's really going on, and I'm very strategic about social media. I have very limited time on there. Like I force myself. I don't get lost. My girlfriend will get lost on TikTok for like an hour. And I'm like, how do you do that? I just get First of all, it doesn't
I'm
make
not on
me
it
feel good.
because I can't.
Well, it doesn't make me feel good because every time I'm looking at something, I'm like, I want that. I want to go there. I want to do that. I want to do that. This is really ridiculous because right now I'm here and I want that. It's not making me feel good.
Right.
So let me go do something that's going to help me get that so that I don't have to worry about wanting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what
yes.
I mean? Like,
just being present and appreciating your own life versus having this constantly, compare. Yeah, I see it too. I feel the same way. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm like, okay, here's this other girl.
And
like,
on the other token, it's so relevant for like growing our business. I mean, I get a lot of people that, you know, reach out to me from Instagram because I'm posting, you know, and my actor's mark for my coaching and stuff. And so it's like, it's a two-edged sword for me.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into the actor's mark. We're gonna just hop into it today. Our fam can like go on this journey with us because I think these kinds of conversations we're really passionate about. Anyways,
and I think it's a lot of conversations that people are, men and women, are going through right now.
Yes.
How do we navigate through this new world that we're in with technology and how do we do it?
And when you have a business, you have a brand that you want to build, it is like you can't, in this day and age, you can't live without it. But then it's that double-edged sword where we have to like be really, you know, protective over our own.
I have some opinions about that when it comes to it as an actor, and I'm sure you guys too, because now we're in this day and age where, I mean, I'm 52, so I started acting when I was 19, when there was no social media, there was no phones, there was nothing, you know, you were getting your breakdowns in a fax machine. And, you know, now you're like, you're losing a job to somebody that's never acted a day in their life, but they've got 1 million followers on TikTok. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not just as talented, but it's like, where's
the value that we're putting in that
in what? And now, like, I don't know, I know you are actresses, right?
Yes.
Do you guys do commercials as well?
I do. Yeah.
She does.
I mean, I'm a huge commercial actor. I've done a ton of commercials. It has been like crickets for a year.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic. I mean, I had like, in the last 5 years, I think I had like 15 commercials running. And then right when the pandemic hit, it like stopped. And now all the commercials are non-union.
Yeah.
And so cheap.
Yeah. And a lot of them are like the user generated content too. So it's like, not only are you barely getting paid, you have to film it all yourself at your home. Like
that. And it's like families or couples, and we want real couples and I get it. This is where the industry is going, but I'm not doing a Cadillac commercial for $1,000.
Yeah.
No. Are you kidding?
That's what's out there.
That's what's out there?
Yeah.
I just saw a Target commercial, 500 usage, $1,000 buyout. I was like, are you kidding? What? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It's insane.
Well, I wonder if their advertising dollars is moving all to social media platforms versus like the commercial TV. Like again, where Netflix shows 0 ads.
Right.
You know, it's I wonder if they're losing their business. And so
sure.
It's just like it all comes down to where the media is going, and that's why as annoying and frustrating as it is as an actor, like to see that happening, you're gonna lose money if you don't find a way to adapt. And like I mean maybe it is doing more user generated content, but building yourself a brand where you're like, no, if you want to hire me, this is my rate because this is what I'm worth, this is the audience, the work I bring in. And it's like a different way to be an actor now, which is.
And I also tell clients, like actors that I coach and stuff, be very aware. Like a lot of actors that are doing commercial work and that type of work don't realize if it doesn't have a conflict, make that extra $2,000. If you're doing a small brand that has no conflict with somebody else, it's about really understanding like what products are out there, what's going to create a conflict. You what you would not be able, you know, because if you do a Cadillac commercial for $1,000, You can't go and do a Lexus commercial and get paid SAG, your residuals in a SAG scale.
Right.
Because you're under, you're in a conflict now. And if they know that, it's going to cause a huge ruckus, So I always just say, just be careful what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
and save jobs for the big brands.
Yeah.
The big jobs.
And it goes back to like, we've had conversations about the union and stuff. And I remember I did a workshop with Stuart Stone, and he's commercial casting director. And yeah, he's awesome. But like,
I've known Stuart since I was 20.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He was awesome. His workshop was awesome. But there was a moment of total like, oh, fuck. Because he was like, the problem is all of these brands are doing these non-union commercials because they know they can get away with it. They know there's going to be actors that do it. And he's like, you guys are kind of screwing yourselves over by taking it because you just keep telling them and showing them that they can get away with it, So.
But we need to make money.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a double-edged sword.
So
yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Because you get these casting directors that are doing all the SAG commercials, and they're just bringing the same people in over and over and over and over again. So how are we supposed to get that opportunity?
Or the A-list celebs just take.
Yeah.
And now because of the pandemic, a lot of celebrities.
I've seen it. I was just like, what's going on? It's like celebrity after celebrity on all these commercials. Because my first thought is like, this sucks for like any commercially working actor who really needs that slot.
Yeah.
You would never see that back in the day.
Yeah.
First of all, back in in the 90s and the early 2000s, you would never even see a film actor do a TV series.
Yeah.
They might do a mini series on HBO and make a guest appearance, but they would never lock themselves into a series because they were a film actor.
Yeah.
And so
I remember that.
Yeah. Like now Julia Roberts is on Gaslit.
Yeah.
And Sean Penn, and they're huge, you know what I mean? And Michelle Pfeiffer and all these people are now, because they're realizing, wow, I can probably do something really, really awesome, make some good money, and I don't really have to go anywhere, or I don't have to do,
Right.
It's probably security for them too. I don't know. I mean, I'm adapting with the industry. I don't want to sound like a bad talker or negative talker. I'm adapting with it. I love this business. There's so many amazing opportunities. And look, you get to meet really amazing women and men and talented people and creative types. It's like, it's just adapting. It's learning to adapt. And for me, it's been a spiritual journey for me, like an internal journey to like find what it is within me that's keeping me stubborn and what it is within me that's not letting me just flow with it, and then learning to open up that area so that I do flow. Because I believe that you're only, when you're not flowing, your creativity is just hitting something. It's not able to like blossom into what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're keeping yourself focused on the wrong things, the wrong movement, and like that's been a huge thing for me right now.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book for actors, The Spirit of the Actor.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love that.
It's
I was just going to say, I'm sure our listeners can resonate, whether they're an actor, director, writer, because it's all affecting everyone in this business. Yeah. So in that journey at what you've discovered so far, because I think a lot of times the first barrier to entry in anything is ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing from you. So to give yourself permission almost to like be like, okay, I'm not a TikToker. I'm not this whatever, but you can still be authentic to you to make that journey work. So is there something that you've just like, is it just giving yourself permission? Like what has helped you kind of navigate that? Because that is a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
I think for all of us to like kind of go through, right, Tessa? It's just
honestly, I'll give you a few things, but this is a conversation I could have for hours.
Yeah,
we're talking 30 years plus years, of understanding and going through so much in the industry and going through so many transitions in the industry. I was a young actor and I was 19 here, moved by myself in 1989. And I did everything.
Oh my God, I love your throwback posts.
Yeah.
Look, she's a model, she's an actress, she's on all the show. You were dancing with someone from Friends. Matt LeBlanc the other day, you posted a video and I was dying. I was like, oh, it was amazing. Your dancing abilities, both of you.
Oh, well, we definitely had rehearsals for that. That was a really fun, that was right before he got Friends, and it was such a great opportunity to work with him. And I mean, it was, I find these things on my phone, or on my computer, and I'm like, okay, I'll just post that. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing.
But it's like it's only if I'm like, what do I say? Unconsciously looking for something else. And I'm like, oh, I got to post that.
Yeah.
Why don't I post that? But what I have to say to actors and to any creative type out there, really to anybody out there, it's not even pigeonholing actors, but I think it's understanding and this sounds a little hokey, but it's understanding your self-esteem. It's building a self-esteem within you, a strong self-esteem, and understanding what makes you tick and what you like and what you don't like, and just follow your instincts. Mm-hmm. and build your intuition, because as actors, if you don't have all this stuff, you're chasing that carrot like all the time.
Yeah.
And it's the first thing I teach anybody that comes into my classroom or into private coaching with me is like, how do you feel about yourself? What's mm-hmm. going on with you personally? Because we need to tackle that first, because I just coached an actress for a really big role yesterday, and like last week. We've been working on it for the last couple of days, and she's like, I've been on all these acting classes, and this is what's so different about you is you're not just an acting coach. You're an acting coach and you're a life coach. Mm-hmm. And no one realizes that is just as important as being an acting coach. Yeah. Because we're actors coming out here, leaving families, leaving, all of our loved ones behind, coming and starting a life out here or New York or Atlanta or Miami. And we're just like, maybe we don't know anything about it, but we have this dream in our heart. And we're like, what do we do? What do I do? Yeah. Well, the first thing you have to do is understand who you are, what you like, what turns you on, what excites you, and what do you want to do? Mm-hmm. Like specify it. Get personal with yourself, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, because there's a lot of unconscious bullies in this business, and they're not doing it on purpose. They don't know, but even agents, managers, and producers and casting directors, they don't realize what they're doing because they're not on our end of it. And it's hard sometimes because you do want to be liked, and you do want to get the job, and you do want to portray that you're loving what you're doing and all, but then you go, well, wait a minute, if I make a choice and I commit to that choice for myself, what if they don't like it? So then you kind of are like in this middle area where you're like, well, I'm not really going to commit to that. I'll maybe commit to it like 75% and then leave a little open to see what they like. And if you look on YouTube and you start researching casting directors, they'll all say the same thing. What draws me to somebody is their commitment to their choice, mm-hmm. to have an opinion and to commit to it. Yeah. And it could be completely wrong. I mean, and I have a story like that with Nancy Nayer, who's a big casting director. Mm-hmm. And I auditioned for this movie with Jennifer Lopez, and it was like a cameo role, but it was 2 scenes, and I played the lead's mother. And this was the scene where me and my husband are in the car, and I'm guessing we're arguing about him hitting on this girl. And so I'm feeling really jealous, and I'm feeling really like, well, you shouldn't have been talking to her. And, why were you doing that? Why were you having a drink with her? And I thought I was jealous and upset. And so that's how I played it. I committed to that. I decided on that choice. She was like, Raquel, that was so great that you committed to that, but that's completely wrong. Mm. They're swingers. Now, they didn't tell me this in the book,
yeah.
Right? I didn't know.
Right.
She's like, they're total swingers. They do this all the time. She's joking with him in the car. It's like a really fun situation, and you're not mad at all. In fact, you're going to probably ask him, why didn't you bring her home with us? And I was like, well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
So she let me go outside and work on it for like 10 minutes. I asked. This is another thing actors need to do, is they need to ask.
Mm-hmm.
They need to say, I teach actors to completely empower themselves and stand up for themselves. And this is who I am. And I need 10 minutes. If you're not willing to give it to me, okay, well, then I will do the best I can or walk away.
Yeah.
You got to stand up for yourself and not be so, addicted to needing this validation from everybody.
Yeah. I love that.
You don't need validation. You need to show
yourself
the world
and the work. Seriously.
Show the world who you are. And by that, it's whatever you want it to be. So I went out, I worked, I came back in. She had me do it a couple times. I left. She was like, thank you. I walked out. I walked downstairs. I went to my car. She chased me to my car. I'm not kidding you. First time that ever happened in my life.
Yeah.
Like, Raquel. I was like turning around. I'm like, oh my God, it's actually Nancy. Like, yeah. She's like, come back. I want you to do it one more time. I have an idea. And I did it. And I ended up booking the role. And I went in there with the completely wrong interpretation. Yeah. So I love telling that story. Obviously not to toot my own horn, but to tell actors, just commit to what you're doing and believe in it.
Yeah.
And everything's going to work out for you. But if you're trying to be liked by people, or perfectionism, that's another thing my actors are struggling with right now, is, well, I need everything to be perfect, and all this self-taping has just created this OCDism in everybody, feeling like they need to be perfect. And I'm like, just focus on the work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I got to move here and I got to do this and I got to make this sound. And I said, just focus on the work.
Yeah.
You don't need to do all that stuff. They'll teach you all that stuff.
And especially especially in an industry where it's like you're constantly being rejected every day, and you're auditioning way more than you're ever actually like filming, so it's, you have to have that self-empowerment and stick up for yourself and for your choices, because you can't just be pleasing everyone when nobody's ever going to be pleased most of the time anyway, regardless.
They're not. It's out of your control. So one thing I did have my actors, right, and anybody that's watching the show, and this is good for everybody, it's not just actors, but actors really benefited from this in my class. I said, I want you to take some time, and I always do this in the beginning of my class. I like really get into their, like, how are they feeling about themselves? How are they feeling about their work? Maybe we need to talk a little bit about the business of acting. I want them to feel empowered walking into their scene work. Mm-hmm. So I said, I want you to write down everything that's within your control in this industry.
Yeah.
For you. What's within your control? Sit down, take 10 minutes, write it down. Now, next to it, I want you to write down everything that's out of your control. What's out of your control? The casting director choosing you for the job, or the director, is out of your control. Whether they like you or not is out of your control. Yeah. Whether you're going to get called in for an audition or not is out of your control. Whether that agent's going to sign you is out of your control. But what's within your control is how professional I am, how prepared I am, how on time I am, how I bring my authenticity to the role, how unique I allow myself to be. These are like things that actors can do, and other creative types, to just see what's in front of them. And people are like, oh, okay. Especially a lot of like younger people don't write stuff down. Yeah. They just keep it in their phone. I'm like, you got to write it down. Some stuff just needs to be written down so that you can look at it.
Yeah.
And you look at it right there. Yeah, you can look at it on your phone, but then you click it off and it's gone. Mm-hmm. But you write it. And now you're doing a second, you're thinking about it and you're writing it. And now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, wow. And it'll just make you think.
Yeah.
Like, this is the book I tell everybody to read.
6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Okay.
It's not an easy read.
Yeah.
But it talks about like self-acceptance, self-respect, empowerment. I mean, it's a great book for that, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who teaches us that?
And something just speaking of the younger generation, something that I sparked on in my mind the other day that I wanted to highlight on the show at some point, and this is just the perfect moment, is that in your early 20s, there is still so much like self-discovery and who you even are as a person. And that doesn't stop there by any means. Like I'm almost 30, and it's like I do feel finally I'm at a point in my life where I am really confident in who I am, what I like what I'm passionate about, where I'm going. But that took a lot of my earlier 20s to now to like understand my role in this industry.
Yeah.
So for those listening who are like, okay, yeah, what's in my control? Well, you know what? It is a journey if you still feel like you don't know 100% of like where you want to go. But I think your point is starting to commit to different things. You'll get there.
Yeah.
So I think.
I mean, I'm still on a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a journey, but if you allow the journey to be exciting and like, I know sometimes it can be hard. Trust me, I've been there. Listen, I've signed the contract at a screen test multiple times where it would change my life and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I know the feeling of going
Yeah.
back 6 times and, I mean, it's happened multiple times in my life where I've been let down or I've wanted something, or, used to go into auditions and I would just be so nervous because all this stuff that I'm telling you is stuff I've actually been through in my life and learned. And I think what I'm at a place now where, I'm finally at this place where I'm like, I'm not nervous when I audition.
Yeah.
You bring me in a room of 8 people, I don't care. It's the network heads. I don't care if it's the head of MBA.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm still going to do what I do. Now there's more pressure, but I'm still going to be myself and do what I do because I think I've earned that in my life. And I also worked really hard to get there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's always the journey. Like I mean, most of the actors I coach are in their 20s and 30s, and they're just adorable. And I know you guys are going through that journey of self-discovery, but maybe focus on what's so great about it instead of what's so not great about it.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I think too, like along the journey of self-discovery, there's also the journey of like, what you want is going to change too, like I remember like when I first started and, people were like, well, what's your goal? Like, do you want to be famous? And I was like, no, I just want to be a working actor that like, that's my job. Like I pay my bills with my acting. And now like, it's more like, I just want to work. Like whether it's paying off my bills, like I just want to be working. I want to be acting, and that's what's more important to me. So that's something too.
I think so amazing that you're doing this.
Yeah.
That you guys are podcasting, that you guys are creating your own stuff, because now you're taking it in your own hands and you're saying, I am going to work on my own terms.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's been the journey for myself in like where I fall. I was just like, you know what? Like I love, this has been such an empowering tool, having a podcast, creating your own content, that now, if I get asked to like audition, like to your point, to someone's role, I don't feel that pressure. It's like, I've been through so much, I could cry on the spot. Like we got, it's all vulnerable. Exactly. I can just tap in because I'm not focused on the other stuff. It's just like all here. It's all here. Yeah. And like, that, I think if anyone's listening, doesn't mean, okay, like, because, some people can't get to creating their own work to the entirety, and I'm not saying, but for me, I did find it to like what Tessa's saying too. It's just like, and it's been such an empowerment that I just feel like I feel fulfilled, and that is who I am now. Like that is how I feel about.
Like I think if I could give actors really good piece of advice. It would be, you know, this world is full of things that we want and things that we don't want. I mean, I'm like a huge Abraham Hicks fan. I love Abraham Hicks. She's like this crazy lady that like channels this, like, whatever. I don't, it's just an energy. People are going to think it's crazy. But what I get from her is there has to be contrast in this world for us to know what we want, and for us to know how to go after what we want. So if we're so busy looking at what is, and we're not focusing our energy on what we do believe to be, right? And I'm just going to use you guys as an example with your project. You have this amazing project that you guys have dove into, you've written, you know, you've rewritten it, you've gone over it again, you've created a deck, you've created the Bible, whatever it is, you've built this whole thing, and now you're invested in it and you're believing in it, and now you're visualizing what you want it to be, right? You want it to be a feature film that catapults you guys and that pulls you guys up on the map and gives you guys credibility in the business, right? That's amazing. That's so, like, wow, right? And there's going to be stuff like coming along the way that's, you know, contrasting, that's coming at you like, oh crap, how are we going to get this money? So it's like, my advice to actors is, if you stop at that and you let that affect you in a negative way, because it's not negative. Even what's happening with the financials right now, it's not negative, it's on point. But you just keep your eye on the prize the whole time. Keep building the visualization of what you want this to be. Keep putting in more and more specifications of what it is, you know, and you keep that moving, that momentum moving forward to that. And these little things that come in the way are just opportunities for you guys to grow and learn more. The same with actors. So I say actors, this whole entire journey, you're never going to get to a place, or at least in my whole experience, where you're going to be satisfied and you're going to go, oh, that's it. That's all I wanted. Now I'm going to have a family and I'm going to quit acting. You're constantly going to be journeying through your life and learning and discovering. So why not go, you know what? I'm going to make a conscious choice to, one, learn about myself, and to two, know that no matter what comes in my way, whether good or bad, I don't even call it bad, but I have to say that word because that's how they connect. I'm still going to trust that it's all working to get me where I want to go. Which is just, you know, it's true.
And it is true. It absolutely is. I have an example I could share. The past 2 years, I've been unemployed and like just working contract to contract on production jobs. I was nannying, doing what is the creative hustle life, like when you're really looking at it. But I really wanted to find a position of where I'm working on my professional career at the same time, and giving me the funds to really like survive and hopefully put into my project as well. Cause that's the, I mean, it's the minus side is having less time and flexibility, but the plus side is the mental freedom of like, I'm financially stable. I can invest in my project more as a producer here and hopefully grow in whatever position I'm placed in. And I went through countless of ad agency projects that got me really good at pitch decks too on Canva and all of that, like different. And it was all a double-edged, or not double-edged, a catch-22 with them. They were like, love your experience, and I have all this production experience, but like you haven't worked at an ad agency before. And like no one, I'm like, this is a starter position, I'm pretty sure. And then I would get called up for these higher up positions because I have also 5+ years in project management full time. So I'm like, like someone,
you're and it like, was just take a chance. Yeah,
exactly. But I kept, and there were times like Tessa knows, like I just want to scream. I'm like dying because I'm like constantly pitching. It's like all this energy. But I was like, you know, the plus sides is I'm getting to really know how to present myself to anyone when it comes in. Like I walk into a room, I know exactly how to speak on my experience and my skills. I am confident, even though I'm getting rejected every time.
Yeah.
Like at the end of it.
But is it rejection?
That's
Or
how I
is
started
it
to
that
look at it.
the right position is finding its way to you, and if that's just the universe or God or whoever having your back.
Yeah.
And so just 2 weeks ago, I finally landed a position in the industry. So no, I'm not doing ad agency, which I didn't. Of course, I'm not passionate about that.
Right.
But in the industry where I'm working on feature films and like have hopefully, and this is the thing, I know it's scary because here we are, we're about to fundraise, which is a whole big thing.
Well,
but I'm
be
like,
careful what you're claiming with that.
and that's the thing. I'm like, okay, that's the negative. That's the negative energy. Change that. I'm like, it's all serving me. It's all going to serve me to get to where we are.
That's a perfect example. You just, if you would have got one of those jobs at some ad agency, you would have been probably miserable, and you probably would have stuck it out because the money was good, and you would have been tired and exhausted, and probably it would have been suffering, your creativity would have been suffering. And now you're working on films, you're learning about making films, which is what you guys want to do, is make a film.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I'm just like, this is amazing. I'm glad I stuck it. And of course, guys, it always happens at the very last second because I was losing my nannying gig. I was like, it happened. I'm in the middle of travel this month. Like I said, has been crazy. I have my best friend's wedding. And so I'm just traveling constantly back and forth from the East Coast. And I was just like, okay, these plane tickets are expensive. Like my bills I'm losing this.
Hey, fam, have you heard us raving about Jambox yet? Because let me tell you, it's such an amazing tool for filmmakers, podcasters, advertisers, and anyone who needs music for their projects.
Jambox.io is so versatile. They've got songs and sound effects, organized by artist, genre, mood, and tags.
And they're actually affordable. For as little as $9.99 a month for independent creators, $6 a month for students, or $19.99 a song, you can choose whether a subscription-based membership or a la carte pricing works better for you. And they're flexible. For individual creators, to commercial, to advertising, to theatrical release, they've got you covered.
Plus, they're constantly growing and evolving, with new songs and playlists all the time and customer service on point. They really do have everything you need.
We've been working with them for a while now and couldn't be happier. That's why we have a special coupon code for our listeners.
For 10% off your purchase, make sure you enter code FEMME10 at checkout. That's Femme, Femme, 10 at jambox.io, where they connect creators with ridiculously good music and sound effects.
I mean, I've been there too, and it's so funny, the pandemic just like hit hard, and I was like, I got super busy, and then I was like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, I like need to hustle.
Yeah.
I have to really go after it. But it's like, you just have to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta surrender. I mean,
that's a good word for it. Yeah. I just was like, surrender and trust, because
because we're worrying about it and it's not getting us anywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
And I know for me, I'm changing that trajectory in myself, because I used to be a huge worrywart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I worried about everything. I worried about, what could not happen, or this or that. And I was just like, you know what? No more. It doesn't serve me anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that, I like to empower my students and the people that I work with, because most of them are like 20 years younger than me. And I'm learning this now. And I'm like, listen, even if you take 1% of what I say to you and you apply it, I wish I had somebody at your age to tell me these things so that I didn't have to go through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, just be aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once you build an awareness, you start going, why am I caring what that person thinks?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to care what that person thinks. Let me do what I feel is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think too, like, going back kind of to what you said about like writing down the things that you do have control over and the things that you don't. And in this industry, not only do we face rejection all the time, but everything is constantly changing. And there is no right answer for everything. Like I get so frustrated with a lot of actors that I see in classes that I've taken that like they just want to know the answer. They'll ask a question that I'm hearing them ask and going, I know I don't know everything, but I know that there's no answer to that. Like there is no correct answer,
And you want so badly to just say it, but you're like, oh God, I don't want to think I'm
Exactly. Exactly.
That's when it's like a new person to the industry, because you learn that very quick. There is no path other than your path.
Yeah.
There is no answer then that is right for you.
Yeah.
And that's what's so hard about what we do.
Yeah.
True. And I do believe that for most people, you definitely need training.
Mm-hmm.
And I like some people, there's just some people out there that are prodigies. They don't need it. They just like open their mouth and they can connect.
Mm-hmm.
But for most actors that are coming out here, you really need to get a solid foundation and a technique of what you're doing and how to break down scripts and how to perform in front of other people and how to connect to another person on a truthful level and how to listen and how to let go of your fucking baggage when you're, walking in and you just got rear-ended or whatnot. And,
Literally happened to me in an acting class. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, you gotta learn how to do all this stuff. And it's not just like some people will come to my class for like a month and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go kind of on my own now. And I was like, go right ahead. Like after a month, but go right ahead. And usually they come back 2 months later and they're like, oh, I still need so much work. Yeah. And I was like, I told you, just stick it out for a period of time to where you can build the momentum in yourself that you feel like, wow, I'm really gaining something here.
Yeah.
Because I compare it always to an athlete. Like, look at LeBron James. You think LeBron James just was born like that? Mm-hmm. He worked his ass off to be the best basketball player in the world. Yeah. He worked his tail day and night.
Yeah. That's what I say. Before practice, after practice, he's practicing.
Yeah. Like, you gotta master something if you want to be the best at it. If you want to be respected and you want people to go, wow, that's an amazing performance. Mm-hmm. You got to put your all into that. You got to take it seriously. Yeah. It's not about, having the right lighting for your self-tape and memorizing a bunch of lines.
Yeah.
What do these lines mean to you?
Yeah.
Where is it coming from? What have you created? What's the backstory for this person that you've built if you don't get any of that information? Like, this is the problem a lot of actors have is they're like, I don't know what to do when I get that stuff.
Yeah. And plus too, like, saying about like practicing and all of that, like just, I know I've been in a lot of classes that, I kind of feel like I'm the best one in the class, sometimes, and I don't like that feeling. Like, sure, if it feels good to, know that you're doing a good job, but it's like, I get frustrated because I'm working with brand new actors and they're not giving me what I need, but I have to stop and remind myself, I'm still working that actor muscle. I'm still practicing. I'm still getting a lot out of this,
Yeah. And you might book a job and work with an actor that's not going to give you anything.
Exactly.
I mean, I have so many crazy stories about that. And I mean, one show in particular that I worked on for a while, I can't name it, was not connected to the actor playing my husband at all. Mm-hmm. And I would walk onto the set and he barely talked to me.
Yeah.
And yet here we are doing these scenes where our son's getting, taken away and all this stuff's happening. And off the screen, I was like, this guy, I don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
No connection at all, you know? And so you as the actor, this is why, like, your inner work is so important, because I didn't need him. Mm-hmm. Right. I had my substitutional choice and what I needed from him in every scene. And so what I was going after was, what do I need from the person in my life? And I'm just going to block you out. And I'm just going to focus and visualize on who that person is and what I need from them and why. And you could put anybody there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, working the muscle a lot will allow me to listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like you're not listening.
It's
but
not
you're
like
able.
I'm not listening to him. I'm listening to him. I'm looking at him. I'm observing everything about him. But the need is not, it's not because of him. Like, I'm not like trying to get it from him.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
exactly.
get it from the person I put inside him.
Yeah.
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 So, but it's really interesting.
I love that. That's
So,
really good advice. Like, you know, for when people are in a scene with someone that they don't feel like they're getting what they need from them. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
approach.
And that's, you know, you have to work at that. That's not like, it sometimes takes people months to learn how to do that and how to, they're like, Raquel, well, I see that. I see John, and, you know, Rick is the guy that I'm thinking, but I still see John. So how am I supposed to do that? And, you know, I do a lot of visualizations in my class, a lot of imagination exercises. I think that's like super important. Like I just feel imagination exercises can really lock you into a place and an environment. Like my actors will, we've been working on self tapes for the last month. And so I have them close your eyes and visualize the place. Right before you do your self tape, just take 2 minutes, close your eyes, visualize the place.
Yeah.
What's the temperature? Where is it at? How do you feel about it? Can you see where things are? Where's the person, you know, person's there? Okay. You know, do you notice stuff around this place? And can you relate, create an inner object of a place that's familiar to you, so that you open your eyes and you have a connection to the space around you? You know,
it's really grounding. I feel like to do that.
And
that's so important.
And just let go. Then once you're getting ready to do everything, just have some fun. Like that's, I think a lot of actors go, well, I do all this work and what am I supposed to do with it? And I say, you let it go.
Yeah.
And they're like, then why am I doing it? Because it's in you.
Yeah.
You're creating the memories.
Yeah.
You're creating the existence of everything that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you're talking about in your scenes, your sides, you create like, if you say, well, last week when we were at that hotel, create the memory of the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Give yourself a true. So Raquel would think, what hotel do I know? I know the hotel room. Oh yes, that hotel that I was at, blah, blah, blah. So when I say, remember last week when we were at the hotel, I've got the memory of that hotel in my brain. When I'm saying it, I'm speaking truth.
Yeah.
Instead of just, well, that's what it says on the page. So I have to say, remember when that last week when we were at that hotel?
Yeah.
It has no meaning to you. So you got to create the meaning behind these, you know, certain things in the script that, you know, you want to make that have some type of meaning for you.
Yeah.
It's called inner object. I always teach that. It's like super.
So important.
Yeah.
And
It's like the most important, because if you don't have time to do anything else, throw in what you need from that person, some inner objects, and, you know, your moment before, and you're off on a running start.
Yeah. Yeah. Because especially like once it really is ingrained in you, like it then becomes so much more natural. Like I remember being in a class one time, I did a scene with my partner and, you know, we had like rehearsed like a little bit like during a break in a class. Like we didn't get to really like rehearse outside of class or anything, but then we put it on and we were just both sitting the whole time. I think maybe he stood up once or whatever. And it just felt so like it was just like we were doing it on a stage. There wasn't really, you know, it wasn't genuine. And so we just kept performing it over and over. The teacher was like, just keep doing this. Okay, just change up the blocking. Do this. And we'd do it over and over and she would change one little thing. And it eventually evolved to this thing where we were walking around the whole room. I'm following him. And like, I could hear it coming out of my mouth thinking like, this sounds real. Like it finally doesn't sound like I'm acting. Like this just sounds real. Like this could be in the movie, you know? So yeah, it's like once it's really ingrained in you, once you do that work and that prep, then it just kind of comes out. Like you said, let it go. Yeah.
I let it go. You got to be in the moment. It's so fun, isn't it? When
Yeah.
you like are in that moment and you get done with a scene and you're like, I don't even know what I just did.
Yeah. And you're not even thinking about the lines at that point. Like, yeah.
The lines will come to you. I mean, I know, listen, memorization it's, you know, it's a bugger, but it's it's our job.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn to master it. Record your lines. I always tell people, get quick record your lines, listen to them while you're on a hike, listen to them while you're driving in your car, listen to them over and over and over and over again, and say your lines fast, sing your lines, say your lines slow, write your lines out. There's so many ways that you can just learn it. I mean, for me now, it's been such a part of my life for so many years that I pick up scripts and I'm just like, it just soaks in.
Yeah.
That's
fun.
It's fun when you can like get that to that point too.
Yeah.
You're not stressing about it.
Yeah. And I directed my first project with a girl that, so funny, we were neighbors for so long. And
I was just gonna get into that. So Kat, we had her on the show. We love her. She actually introduced us to you.
Yes.
And that's I wanted to hear about Elisa's Almost 30, which was your directorial debut.
It
right?
was. It was.
Yes. Tell us about how you two met and you were able to then step into the director's chair on it.
Yeah, which is so funny because I never anticipated that. I never sought that out to be a director. Same with the coach. I never sought that out.
Yeah.
My friend was like, you're going to be a coach. And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, you are. I want you to teach in my school. And finally, here I am, almost 10 years ago. So Kat was my neighbor, and I was living next door to her with my boyfriend at the time. And my boyfriend and her husband would talk about golf all the time, and we would just stand there. We'd never really even talk. I don't know why. I have no idea. When I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend and moving out, and he's having a conversation with her about this small, short script that she wrote, which was at the time 13 pages. And he said, well, why don't you have Raquel direct it? And she's like, I never even thought of something like that. He goes, I'm guaranteed you should be so good at it. And I've been coaching at that time for I think 7 years. Mm-hmm. So coaching is very much like being a director. It's very similar.
Yeah.
And so she called me and I was like, that's interesting. I never even thought about doing something like that, but yeah, let's meet and talk. I read the script and I was like, can we elaborate on some of this stuff? Can we add some serious stuff in there? And, so then we evolved the script into her, because she's actually adopted. Mm-hmm. And she's adopted into a predominant white family. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's put that in the script.
Yeah.
You're a Latino girl adopted by a white family. That can bring some relativity to this and some seriousness to a funny situation. But, now there's something for people to learn and to gain from it.
Yeah.
And this 13-page script evolved into a 26-page script. And we started talking and I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And I didn't know how to direct. I knew
but
how.
You did. Yeah. But you didn't know.
But I did. But I knew what I knew my visions. I didn't know the technical side of directing. Mm-hmm. So when I say I didn't know the verbiage, I didn't know any of the verbiage. And the first night of shooting, the DP and the cameraman are asking me all these questions. And I was like, I don't know, but I want her to come in this way and do this.
Yeah.
He was like, is it a push? Is it a pull? And I'm like, well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
And he's like, pull is when the camera follows her from the eye, push is when we push her forward. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it. So thank God for the people that were, the crew and the cameramen and the DPs and all that on this project, because they helped me with that. Mm-hmm. They helped me learn about that, stuff that I needed to know. I had to do a crash course in how to build a shot list and all that stuff. Yeah. But it was a really great opportunity. We got amazing people and I am super proud of it. And we had just the universe opens up when you want something, and it brings people, just drops them in your lap when you just keep your creativity flowing. Yeah. And we just knew what we wanted. And I just knew acting wise what I wanted. And I wasn't settling for just somebody that had a name or this or that. I really wanted to see their acting ability. And we ended up getting some really great people. Man and Matthews, that's like a really huge TikToker, is phenomenal in it. Of course, Kat is funny as hell. We've got Ryan Carnes, who's so dreamy and such a great actor and has worked, on a ton of stuff. Salita Ebanks, who is a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model and an actress, and she's drop dead gorgeous and great to work with. Yeah. We just have really amazing people, and it just worked. It all came together, and we're tweaking it and shopping it right now. We've had our ups and downs with it. Trust me. Of course. Unbelievable editor. We got an editor from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, wow.
Who
love that show.
He introduced us to Jeff Schaefer. Like I didn't even know who he was. I had a conversation with him on the phone for like 45 minutes. He's talking all about our project. And I got off the phone. I was like, who was that? And he's like, only the co-creator of Seinfeld. And I was like, why are you guys not telling me these things? Right? Oh my God, I'm so stupid right now. But it worked out. Yeah. But we just got really, I want to say it was luck, but I don't think it was luck. I just think we just really believed in ourselves and believed in the project that we had. And this is what came to us. And so, it's still in progress. We've been shopping it, and we were going to fill all the like holes that we had, because once we edited the pilot, we had like different holes that we had to do pickup shots, and which was going to cost us a bunch more money. And we were like, let's just put a sizzle reel together and try to shop that with our deck and the script, and and get money, because they're going to want to reshoot it anyway.
Exactly. That's the thing.
I put money into it, but it turned into a really great project, and it taught me a lot. It opened up my eyes to directing. I definitely want to continue doing that. I think it's a really, really like creative opportunity for me. And it also has opened up my eyes so much deeper into the acting.
Yeah. And I love too what you said, that like, you don't want to say it's luck. It's not luck. It's that energy that you're putting out. It's like the law of attraction kind of thing. You put out that energy, and other people are going to feel that, and they're going to want to work with you and like work well together. You find that right group of people makes all the difference.
Yeah, because luck is just focus and opportunity when they come together, and that's all it is. It's like you got to be ready for it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't even care if it's to meet your, the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. You got to be ready and open and available for the opportunity to come through. So, timing it's important. It's important to take the time to get to know yourself and what, like we talked about in the beginning, to bring it all the way back around to what do I like? What do I want? What values do I have?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be afraid of being that person. I might not be able to please everybody, but the people that are supposed to be in my life are going to be.
Yeah.
And the situations and opportunities are going to come because I'm being true to me.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Absolutely.
No, and I feel like, even Tessa and I, like, on the show I feel like we've been putting ourselves out there for so long, but now like we get amazing connections like yourself to like come together and share. And I feel like that too is why, don't hide your projects, like really be open and share and like you'll get a sense of who you can attract and bring a part on the team pretty quickly. I think that's why you get like we find amazing talent and like you said, like it wasn't luck. It's like, I'm sure you were open, you were sharing, you were connecting, and it all just starts to, I know this person. Like that's what I've learned, the real networking, that's what it is.
When you have a project that you really believe in, that you really trust, you're not afraid to go and ask somebody for a favor or ask somebody, hey, can you do this for me? Or would you do this? And, because you believe in it. Like, that's what I'm saying with you guys and the funding, no shame.
Yeah.
No shame if you believe wholeheartedly in your project.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you got to say. Do I believe in this? Do I really, really, really believe in this? And I know it can be successful. Yes. Then you know what? I am effing reaching out to everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, Gramps, did you give $50?
Yeah.
Right. And you open it up to this world. So you allow people to show their belief in you, even if it's small, it'll all end up coming together.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
you might open that up to family and friends, and that might be, you know, your saving grace, and your family might be, oh yeah, my daughter's doing this, you know, script, and she's got this funding, and she's telling somebody at the store, and that person's like, I want to contribute, and that person might contribute $1,000.
Yeah.
You don't even know. So you're right. Put your work out there. Put your, you know, be proud of the work that you're doing and everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because and to your point of like, you know, knowing yourself and knowing like that journey of like confidence there with sharing your project, if you feel like, again, you don't know, if you feel like you can't share it, then maybe it isn't ready. Like maybe you really need to dig in deeper and get it together, get the tools. But like, well, like us, when we've done the work, we've done all the pitch videos, decks, all of that. It's like we believe, we know, we've hounded it, and that's what's so great. Now we're just excited. We're like, guys, send the money.
And that's so much we're doing.
Yeah.
Like I think it was maybe my mother said to me, she goes, "What you got going on this week?" And I was like, oh my God. Like stopped and I thought about it. And I was like, wow, I really have a lot going on this week. And I'm, you know, I'm still working with Kat on Elisa's almost 30. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a real comprehensive for actors. Kat and I decided to do a real comprehensive because back in the day, I used to do the real comprehensives for actors where I found a way to make building reels for actors inexpensive because these people were charging like $1,500 for a scene or two scenes. And I was like, that's astronomical.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if we get 10 actors and we kind of pair them with each other according to what they need, and then we film half of the scenes, it takes half of the time and they can pay half of the money instead of paying, you know, $1,500. It's like $800.
Yeah.
So Kat was like, can we please do that? You know, because I did it 6 years ago. And she was like, well, can we do that again? And I'm like, oh God, that was a lot of work. But so we're doing that again. We're doing a course for actors, which I'm now proud to talk about, but it's been such a labor of love because I mean, it truly is going to be amazing. It's called The Business of Acting. It's a business of acting course for actors. And it like literally.
Finally. Can we just say finally?
But it has been taking me, oh my God, maybe it's so far 8 months. And I'm literally I'm going to finish it by the end of July.
Yeah.
Because I finished the written part of it 90%, but now I got to film it. I got to build it. I got to get market. I got to do all that. But it literally goes over every aspect that actors who are coming out to LA or are new to the business or are feeling stuck or don't know how to get representation or don't know what to do about headshots. How do you build your lookbook? How do you get headshots done? Who do you decide on? What to do the week before? What to do the day before? What to do the day of? What's a good reel? What's a bad reel? How can you film a reel if you have no budget? What can you do if you have a budget? Like I'm just doing everything.
Yeah.
It's like what to do with social media, how to seek representation, how to go after that, how to build your online profiles, like everything. Yeah.
Which is amazing.
No, I love that. You have the different like, okay, because the thing that pisses me off in a course is that when it's like, okay, yeah, you need these headshots, this courses, get to this class, and it's like, okay, and there goes 10 grand.
Oh,
what do I just then now have to like work?
Holy moly, should I be charging 10 grand? I was going to charge $350. I should charge 10 grand.
No, I'm just saying like in the courses themselves, when however, like let's say your course, is already like $1,000 or $2,000, and then everything you're advising is more.
Right.
So I love that you're like, okay, let's say you can't afford that. Here's what you can do, because it's like,
I've been there.
It's like, why am I paying for this course to tell me that I don't have the funds to do anything? Great. Thank you so much. I've really appreciate that.
Start with, like, where do we, you're coming into LA and you're like, okay, I know I want to be an actor. I took, college acting, drama in college. Here I am. What do I do? So it's like, well, just, first get some training, some more training here.
Yeah.
And, you can make it work for you. It's like, it doesn't have to be, it has to happen now. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. Don't take too much time, but take your time in building, a good base for yourself.
And it's going to take time anyway. Like, even if you just literally did everything right off the bat, like, it's going to take time anyway. So, you might as well take the time to put the work in while the time is happening anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
What you guys are doing it's awesome. And I encourage every actor to go out there and create their own content, start a podcast. If you don't have money to go to a class, get your friends together and read a play in your house.
Absolutely.
Get together and, pull scripts or scenes from the internet and, have somebody be the director and you two do the scene and then rotate. There are ways to do things without money.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally
when you're in that stage, you can be creative. You don't need you don't need all this money to be creative.
Yeah.
But when you do get to that place where you do want to start creating a career out of it, you have to put your money into it.
I mean, so you have to invest.
I invest thousands of dollars on my career every year.
Yeah.
Thousands. That's like, I'm part of all the platforms. I pay for all that stuff because this is my career. This is my job.
Yeah.
I will put the energy into getting my headshots and getting good headshots and paying somebody to do my reel and all this stuff, because I'm at that stage right now where that's important to me.
Right.
But I always say, write it down, write everything down that you want to do. Everything down.
On a piece of paper with some pen.
On a piece of paper, right? Write it down. Don't put it, in the ether.
Yeah.
Write it down. And then go through it and go, and I have my actors do this in class too. What's the most important thing to me right now? That. Yeah. Okay. Now transfer that and say, how do I make that happen?
Yeah.
Well, I got to do this, and this. Okay. Now take the time to just mark those things off. And when you get that marked off, go over to the next thing and go, I could do that, and that, and pull those things over. So you're not overwhelming yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Steps, baby.
Yes.
Take those baby steps, and that helps build your confidence. In yourself. Absolutely.
I can get very overwhelmed if I let myself. I have to. And what I'm teaching, everything that I practice for myself, what's worked for me over the last 30 years. So, So you can follow me personally, Raquel Gardner Official on Instagram, Raquel Gardner, I'm on IMDb, Raquel Gardner on TikTok, Raquel Gardner on Facebook, on Cameo, I'm on Cameo as well. And the Actor's Mark, which is my coaching, is the Actor's Mark on Instagram. I have a website, the Actor's Mark. Facebook, YouTube. There's a lot of really fun videos on YouTube. And that's really, I'm trying to think, is there anywhere else? I'm all over.
She's easy to find, guys.
Not hard to find. Amazing.
Yeah. And if you want to email me about any type of coaching or anything, it's Raquel@theactorsmark.com.
Perfect. Thanks for listening to Femme Regard Podcast. If you like what you hear, tune in every Friday for more tips on the filmmaking business and insightful conversations with industry professionals.
We can only grow with your support, so please subscribe, share, rate, and review. You can also join the Femme Fam on Patreon. For more on us, check us out at femregard.com.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.